thank you again for a very important contribution. But now I'm happy to give the word to a Russian citizen in exile, who is one of those working as activists for democracy in Russia. You have particularly been notable because of the citizens' movement in Khabarovsk, which is one of the sparks who has in fact led up to this crisis, because there has been much more threat to the regime also in far away parts of Russia than we are normally informed about. The word is yours, Dmitrii Nizovtsev.
Thank you. At first I'm surprised that in Denmark you know the name of my city. I told you that I'm from Khabarovsk 10 minutes ago, and I was surprised that you said, wow, you're from Khabarovsk. Yes, I'm proud that I'm from this city. I will tell a little later about that. At first, a little disclaimer, I'm very confused. And my English is not so good as previous participants. I have written speech, and I will try to represent you in such manner that you will not find that I am not so good in English as you wanted. So at first, as I say, I am very nervous, but good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that I'm here. I'm proud that I'm standing here. I'm a Russian activist. As it was said, my name is Dmitrii Nizovtsev. I'm 35 years old. I've been working in Navalny's teams, in Alexey Navalny's team since 2017. This is my first speech for the Danish public and here. But I must say for the record, but that it is not the first. Once in Moscow, I stand near the school children from Denmark. They came to Moscow. They wanted to see not only Arbat, Big Theater and Red Square, but they wanted to see someone who is from Russian opposition. And I was the man who they decided to present and to read the speech. The option of unforgettable right bargain for being against the war was not available for school children at that time, and now it is available right now. You see the first and the second photos, yes? You see that in Moscow nowadays there are some protests against the war, and if some school children are participants of that, they are in Polish, as you see. It's the real photo 2 weeks ago. So I spoke to school children from Denmark 2 years ago. It was 2 hours, and at the end of it, I was so self-convinced. So I told them the story about the Danish king who put the Star of David and rode through Copenhagen on a horse. Polite Danish children told me nothing. They said okay, they applauded after that, and when they were away, I learned that the story was fictitious and it wasn't true. Thanks for polite school children, they told me nothing. So maybe nowadays I'm here to apologize for this misunderstanding. But seriously, well, where am I and where is Denmark? I was born and lived most of my life in Khabarovsk. It's the city in the eastern part of Russia, border with China, and San Francisco is closer to Khabarovsk than Moscow or Copenhagen. And it was Khabarovsk where I started my career as a journalist. I was a sport journalist on state television. Yes. At first, I didn't feel any problems with my conscience. I didn't report on politics. Most of my work had to do with sports, and I didn't encounter censorship. From time to time, I would even post something like Putin is a thief. I did it when I worked in the States television, and it wasn't a problem. For me, no one told me nothing. Before 2014, the situation in Russia changed, but changed a lot at 2014 when Russia began the war between Russia and Ukraine. To my mind, it was the beginning of this war. So the situation began to change. My broadcaster stimulated self-censorship and did more and more shameful things. Once I saw that my colleague, I promise, I swear that it's true, my colleague wrote her report, and the man from FSB, you know what it is, yes. He sat near her and say, "That's a nice moment. That's you must change, and this change, yes, that's nice. That's what I saw." They sat near with me, and he was telling what to change. Of course, it was no longer journalism. I tried to change my job once, twice. I changed TV companies, but then I said to myself that it's enough. So I left, not in a manner like brave. Please change photos. Yes. No. Yes. So I changed my work, not like Marina Senikova. I'm not so brave like her, but my conscience is clear. I did do some criminal things, being on TV, and it was a nice time to change my work. It was 2017 when Alexey Navalny began to make his headquarters in the cities of Russia, and Khabarovsk also was the city where Alexey Navalny's headquarters appeared. So I joined. And 6 months later, I was invited to Moscow and worked on the new media his team was launching. That was when I met him in person. Yes. This is a part of my. That was a part of my job. Several times I was arrested when I worked as a journalist in Navalny team. I spent several days in a prison in Russia. So nowadays I stopped to be in prison because nowadays I'm living not in Russia, I live abroad. It's a tragedy, but not a tragedy for me. So it wasn't an easy time, but last year something changed. Now I live in Lithuania. Coming back to today, I can't believe at first that I said several times that I'm standing here, and I cannot believe that my country and people from my country taken Ukraine. I can't believe standing here. In the 21st century, people in the middle of Europe are dying from bullets of the Russian army, which Putin, you can change photos. Yes, this photo appeared here several times, but I'm not against that it's shown one more time. So Putin sent to kill innocent Ukrainians his troops. Today is exactly 3 weeks since this hell on earth is happening. You see these photos. People are dying, cities are being destroyed, so women are giving birth in basements right under shells. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at this photo, you're probably asking why? Why did Putin go for it? Why this war? What can justify the humanitarian catastrophe that he created with his own hands? I have the answer, and it will amaze and frighten everyone who have a heart. Let me quote my chef, Alexey Navalny. He said, "I consider the people who unleashed this war to be bandits and thieves, and what is happening now, the fact that in order to just steal, they are already bombing people, suggests that they have been doing everything absolutely right, since the very 2011 year when I launched the Anti-Corruption Foundation to fight the thieving criminal regime." So, why Putin began to fight with Ukraine? 3 words: just to steal. No. All these deaths are simply so that Putin and his friends can continue to steal our money, our lives, and the future of Ukraine and Russia. Corruption is the goal and foundation of this regime. It's so pervasive that even the great Russian army, previous photo, yes, the great Russian army went to war with expired rations. Corruption is everywhere and in everything. In the ranking of the most corrupt countries, Russia is near only with African countries at the left and on the right. For years, Alexey Navalny and his team have been calling for sanctions against Putin's inner struggle, claimed that it was necessary to put pressure on Putin's valets, on the oligarchs, Usmanov, Abramovich, Deripaska, Sechin, Potanin, and so on, to arrest their huge yachts and real estate in Western countries, not to let their families go there. Nowadays, such names as Sechin and Potanin and Abramovich are well known in Denmark. So the aim is reached, maybe. So I need to tell you one story from my life. So sorry for that. The man that is in the list of Putin's friends is Vladimir Solovyov. He's well-known propagandist. Everyone in Russia knows him. He's Putin's friends. He say, "Wow, Putin is the best president. Ukrainians are not people." I think Ukrainians know this name, Vladimir Solovyov. Nowadays, he being a patriot of Russia. He has 4 villas in Italy near the Como Lake. Nowadays, they are arrested, and not long ago, it's part of my work. Not long ago, we visited them. They are arrested. No one is here, and we visited it. We made a picnic on it, and we show, "Hello, Solovyov, we are here, and you will not appear here in this life." You can, maybe if you want to watch it, you can see it in YouTube. So, of course, it's the progress that their villas, their cities, their homes are arrested right now. The speed at which sanctions are imposed is fantastic. But the question arises: did it really have to come a humanitarian? Did it really have to come to a humanitarian catastrophe for Alexey Navalny to finally be heard? Already in prison and under the threat of a new term, Navalny calls on Russians to take to the streets and protest against the war. Here, he said, "Everything has a price, and now, in the spring of 2022, we must pay this price. No one else. Let's not be against the war. Let's fight against the war." Alexey has been paying and continues to pay infinitely high price of confrontation with Putin. Systematic detentions, surveillance of him and his family, an attack that almost made him lose sight of his eye, a prison term for his brother, poisoning with Novichok, you know this, and so on, his first, and so on, so forth. And none of us have any illusions. Alexey Navalny's term until Putin's death or resignation. So, what can we do to make Putin's departure happen sooner? In Russia, what can we do? In Russia, there is a word, "нерукопожатный." In English, this is roughly translated to non-handshakeable, the man that you will not shake hand with. That is someone who will not be given a hand. Perhaps Danish people has a better word, but bottom line, make sure that Putin propagandists, oligarchs, and officials are the ones who will not be given a hand. The previous participants told you this also. Those who are not accepted in society, whose money are not welcome, trust me, when they say they are not afraid of European sanctions, they lie. They tremble at those. I know one propagandist whose words 75% of his post is I dislike Europe, I dislike America, I dislike everyone, and the 25% is one more sanctions, what can I do? I will go to the court, I will stop it, why me, why my family, why my friends, why? And after that, Europe, I dislike Europe, Ukraine is not good, Russia is good, Putin is the hero, and so on and so forth. So they hate sanctions, they are scary of sanctions, believe me. If they told you that it is not true, don't believe them, it's a problem for them every day and every time. Russian peoples, believe me one more time, Russian peoples do not war. They go to protest, although they know for sure it's dangerous and scary. Only Putin and his associates want to fight. And do you think that we will never kick them out? I will say an awful thing at the end. The war with Ukraine is something that should have never happened. But it was a revelation for a lot of people. Many of you have opened your eyes to Putin and his friends, and Europe punished them so much that they are craving to surrender. Don't ease the pressure. Be vocal about Putin's war crimes, about his corruption. Together we will drive those people out of power. I think that I hope that Russia will be free. We will see that. My dream is to stop the war in Ukraine. My dream is, I like Europe, I like Lithuania, I like Copenhagen and all of these European cities, but my dream is to return to my motherland, to return in Moscow, in Khabarovsk, to live politics, and maybe one day I will return to journalistic and will do not political journalistic and will do all the sport journalistic. I think that the dream will come true. And thanks that you all have listened to me, and sorry for my English one more time. It was great moments in my life. Thank you.
Большое спасибо.
Thank you very much.
И этого русского голоса. It is very important that we have heard clearly a voice from the other Russia, and not Putin's associates, those who have for a long time pointed at the corruption which was proclaimed to be an issue 10 years ago, but where we learn also from what is seeping out from the operations in Ukraine, that corruption is also a factor weakening the invasion in Ukraine just now. So it is very important, I think, and you stress that there are a lot of Ukrainians and Russians working together against this particular situation and for democracy and human rights.
My name is Lena Anderson. I would like to ask Dmitrii, the Russians that we know and are in contact with, what is the best way to, what should we do? Should we spam them with information? Should we encourage them to speak up? What is the best thing we can do when we do have contacts in Russia?
Sorry, I just spoke with my friends. Am I right with your understanding of your question? What can you do with the people who are under Putin's propaganda? Yes, as I understand. Mm-hmm. So, to my mind, that's the greatest question. It's great that how many times I have to answer the question? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Yeah, thank you. Okay. So, thanks for my destiny that my mother is more radical than me. He hates Putin more than me. But a lot of my friends had a problem. Their mothers, their fathers, their grandfathers for Putin maybe my friend said, I spent 10 days in prison. After that, I came to home, and my mother said, "Why did you do that? Why are you in the protest?" And he had no arguments to speak with her. But to my mind, at first, it's interesting to speak with those people who are under propaganda. You will know all of the arguments, why they think in such manner, so speak with them, talk with them, have discussions with them. The second advice is that give them some information that bothers you, that is interesting for you. If you see some interesting report from Ukraine, give it to your friend or your mother or someone who is under propaganda. If you read one article, so don't be shy and give it to him. Of course, if politics separate you, I don't think that you can lose your friend if he is another political position. So try to speak with him. If he cannot be your friend because of your position, okay, say goodbye to him. But if he can speak with you, if he discuss with you in such polite manner, no problems to discuss some political problems, to give him information. And I think that one day he will change his position. I know such friends. We spoke about Khabarovsk. I have many friends from here who worked with the governor, new governor Dmitrii, and they worked with him. They say, "Wow, he's so nice man. Putin, maybe he's a hero that he gave us such governor." But nowadays they have problem with money, and they send me messages. "Dima, can you help us to go abroad? Can you help us to give some roof abroad?" Of course, it is a tragedy of my country, but the mind of my friends changing, and maybe the mind of your friends will change if you will give him some information, and he will someday he will find that you were true, that you were right. All this, yes, to my mind, it is.
Thank you very much, Dima. It was a very systematic answer, and I think that all of us who have friends in Russia will stand up to this challenge to give information and to continue dialogue. Next question, please.
I am representing Association of Ukrainians in Denmark, and I have a question to Dmitrii. First of all, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to have this dialogue, because really it's very hard for Ukrainians to speak with Russians, even those who are against war. I have a very simple question. Do you think your team, of Navalny team, can de-escalate war, can stop war, and maybe it's time for you, if you are such a patriot, to fight against regime, against corruption, but not against war, saying no war, it's not enough. What we from here as Ukrainians, from Denmark, Ukrainians in Ukraine can do to help you, so it would be enough. So many hearts and voices asking you what you, who are against Putin, really can do.
Thanks for the question. Thank you for the dialogue. Maybe you will not satisfied with my answer, but I think that the whole Navalny's team, it's written on me, Navalny team, we do everything that we could against the war. We're fighting against Putin. Look at me? Yes. We fought against Putin during the whole these years. Some of my friends are in prison. Nowadays we say stop war. You know, maybe you don't know, but the word war is forbidden in Russian press, in Russian media. And nowadays, if you say war in TV, you will be in prison. It's dangerous, so you must say only operation in Ukraine. So nowadays, our mission is to inform everyone. Our mission is to ask Europe to give more sanctions. My colleague, my chef, Leonid Volkov, every day and every time met with a lot of European politics to say we need the sanctions for these propagandists, for these oligarchs. We did everything to stop this war, to not begin this. During the 4 or 5 last years, Navalny, Volkov, Zhdanov, and all of the other members of Navalny teams put sanctions on oligarchs around the Putin, and they will give Putin's head on hands. They will give it to you, the whole Putin, naked Putin. They will give it to you, Europe, if you will stop them. Europe was blind to them. Nowadays they began sanctions, but thanks for that, but maybe it's too late. Nowadays we are with those who say that it is war in Ukraine, with those who say stop war. I think that the protest against war nowadays is so dangerous that everyone who says stop war in Russia is a hero. We say that you see that Putin is not a little criminal, he's maybe the greatest war criminal in the world. And nowadays our mission is to inform everyone that we must stop Putin, and nowadays it's time to help to Ukrainian people with money, with houses in Europe, and nowadays it's time to give everyone information that Putin is an enemy of everyone and everywhere. I think that it's our mission nowadays, and of course we can fight right now with a weapon, with an army, but we can do everything for those army who was fighting with Putin. We will do it for the last minute of our lives and the last part of our lives. Sorry.
We have ended your reply. Thank you.
I would like just to small reply, Dmitrii, and to everyone, maybe you don't know, during USSR, Ukrainians had plenty of protests against Russians. They were taken to the prison just like you are right now, and they still were fighting. And I would like to ask why Ukraine should be the battlefield when you fight your regime, your Putin. You hate him, he is war criminal, but you need Ukraine to fight with him. Your country now is unprotected. The army is on my land, so please take advantage of it.